Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to come along and do another quick craft with me. So again, playing with the very vintage kit, just trying to kind of make some bits and bobs really, so as I've got some, you know, ready to go either for a journal myself, to make, or a journal to sell. So I've got obviously some bits and bobs again here that, you know, I've kind of cut out, and I've got obviously lots of background pages. So just going to take the background pages first of all. So I just kind of move them out of the way. And then I've got some lace bits and bobs because I'm struggling a little bit. I don't seem to have much white lace going on at the moment, and I'm quite liking marrying this with the white. So, you know, I just pulled some in, but I'm not sure if any of that's right either. But so I've got the background pages here, and I'm just going to do one of those envelopes that the Crafty Cat, Amy from Crafty Cat, you know, showed us how to do, because I think they're just really cool. So yeah, really liking using those. So thank you, Amy. And yeah, I'm going to try and do one of those in here. So again, I'm going to kind of do the inside first, I think, because then that's kind of done and we don't have to kind of worry about it again. So I'm just having a look to see which pieces I think would be best to have on those inside pages. Oops. And again, she had done a collage on the inside of hers, but I'm just going to kind of do the, you know, one sheet of paper kind of on the inside, because then that's kind of quite simple to do and it's not going to kind of drag on for too long. So I might go for this one here. So if I just kind of, I'm just holding it up to the light to kind of check what that would look like. And then if I just hold this one up to the light, I just want to check how much of this man would be cut off if I kind of pop that like that. So I'll probably afford to lose a bit of him. So just going to trim him down the side to make him a little bit smaller, like that. I probably won't bother keeping that that piece. And then I think what we do is kind of have this. So if I just kind of cut it, or fold it, sorry, around about there, and then I'm just going to snip it along. So obviously this isn't going to be dead straight, but hopefully it will be good enough. So just trim it along, oops, like that. Okay, oops, oh come on. Right, all fingers and thumbs again today, unfortunately, so that's not improved. So we've got that one there, and then I thought we could have this one kind of facing it. So, you know, really nice kind of couple of pages then. So yeah, I like that. So again, obviously what you could do is kind of stitch this, but you know, as kind of usual, I don't have my sewing machine to hand, so I'm just going to kind of glue it here. So just going to kind of run some glue kind of along the edge. Oops. And then I'm going to put plenty on the envelope itself, kind of the envelope part that the bulk of the paper has got to stick to. And I think we did one of these, I think as part of my collage kind of journal. So, and obviously Crafty Cat has obviously got the actual tutorial, so it's worth heading over to her channel, and I will link her channel below, you know, so that you can check that out, because it's, you know, it's really good ideas on there. And she does some lovely videos, so it's definitely worth heading over and checking out her channel. So just pop that down like that. I've got my card handy, hopefully. Yep. So just take a card, spread that one down. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that down. You know, again, obviously try not to cut the actual envelope. Now on this side I can cut the envelope because I'm wanting to actually cut the flap open. So just cut that down, oops, down the side like that. And I'm just going to trim off the overhang at the bottom like that. Okay. So looking good so far. So okay, come on. Oh, come on. Right. So that's obviously one page. And then I just want to have this one kind of opposite it, I think. Oh, decisions. Let me just again hold this up to the light because I wonder how much of this frame we'd kind of lose. So just hold it up. Oh, we'd lose quite a bit. So yeah, I'm going to kind of go for this piece. So again, what I'm going to do is kind of just glue this down. As you can see, this didn't print quite borderless. It depends kind of how your paper is in the printer. If your paper's not 100% square on, although you set the borderless settings for the printing and things, you know, if your paper is not 100%, you know, like where it should be in the paper tray, you may still get like the odd border. You know, the same as if it's not 100% straight in the paper tray, you know, your printing obviously is going to come out crooked on the pages. So, I mean, I'm sure you all know all this anyway, but I'm just kind of just telling you really about some of my frustrations that, you know, that happened to me. So, you know, you're probably all a lot better at kind of ensuring that your paper's kind of, the right paper is in there, and, you know, that you're kind of printing straight and things like that. But sometimes, you know, the border is, the paper isn't kind of 100% in there, you know, aligned. And then, you know, those little things that you press the paper in with. So again, I'm just going to cut this open. Yeah, if those little things that you press the paper in with, if they're not kind of squashing the paper in place, then obviously you've got more chance of the paper going skew-if, really. So, and they kind of just come loose, you know, as you're putting paper in and out, they kind of work their way loose, really. So just kind of things to be aware of, really. So I haven't quite managed to trim that open, so hopefully that out. No, still haven't. Okay, so that's that one. And again, what I'm going to do is trim the excess of the page, top and bottom, like that one, and then this one, like that. Okay, so just bin those kind of odds and ends. So, I mean, that looks really pretty, and obviously, you know, the idea with these is that this would be stitched into your signature. So, you know, you could have them obviously as your centre spread, or you could have them kind of with pages, you know, like in between. Not that I have anything to kind of demonstrate that, but I mean, obviously if you had kind of paper in between, it wouldn't even matter that these kind of weren't the same. You know, but anyway, just, yeah, waffling on. Or obviously you could just kind of have this moving around in your book. So any of those ways are perfectly fine. So then, just having a look to see kind of what to do on the outside. I think the last time that I did one of these, I did a collage. So it was obviously during the collage journal that we were making, and I actually did collage the outside. So I mean, we could kind of do a bit of a collage going on the front, or we could just go for a couple of items from the kit and then, you know, kind of maybe pop something else on there, maybe a journaling card or something like that. So I mean, here obviously we've got that lovely frame in a journaling card, so we could have that. So I'm just having a look through the bits and bobs, seeing what else I've got here that would kind of be similar-ish kind of colours. So we could pop that onto some paper bag or something. I've got this bright pink ribbon that I just happened to kind of spot as I was gathering things for this kind of process video. So we could do one of those kind of little bow things going down the edge of here. That might be quite nice. Now, I thought I didn't have any of that bright pink lace left, you know, that I've used before in the Symphony Orchestra kit. And actually, I then did find some in my carrier bag of laces. So I again pulled that out because I thought again, maybe that would go quite nicely in here. It's quite striking, isn't it? What do you think? I mean, that feels like a very brave kind of one to do. What do you think? Is it a bit much? I mean, it is very kind of, you know, in your face really, but equally, I do think it looks really nice. So again, this is where I wish I was live and I could ask you guys really to let me know what you actually do think, whether I'm about to make a huge mistake if I go for that rather than kind of just be safe and go for white. So let me just see if I've got some white to kind of at least have a look at the difference. Hold on. I'm going to have to cut a piece of white, I think, because otherwise they're huge, great big bits that obviously are not going to be very good for showing on the video. So hold on. So that's the pink and this would be the white. Oh, I'm going to do it. Yeah, straight away, as soon as I kind of put that there, I thought, no, I'm going to do the brave thing and I'm going to go for the pink. At this point, you're probably all screaming at the video, like, no, that's a mistake. Don't do that. Don't use the pink. But to me, that looked really nice. So I'm just going to pop that down onto the lace first. So just pop it down like that. And then I'm just going to cut round that lace. So just kind of, I'm going to start with it quite big because it's quite big around the other sides. And then obviously if we want to trim it smaller, I can just kind of trim it down. But let's be really brave and kind of have it making a big impact with it quite, you know, a lot of it. You know. What's that expression? Go big or go home. So we'll do that. Have that kind of attitude, I think. So right now, just deciding kind of how to have this. Do we want it on that background page? Or we could have it on this one. I mean, it's a shame because obviously you're losing most of the background page anyway. So it probably really doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to go for this one, I think. So I'm just going to glue it down in its entirety. So, you know, we're not doing a collage page or anything like that. We're just gluing it down, whole piece, onto the envelope. I'm just going to kind of lightly apply a bit of glue so as we don't get kind of, you know, just like a baggy part in the middle where it's not attached. And I think I'm going to kind of pop it like that, so it's a bit of trimming kind of top and bottom. So take it to the edge like that and then just press it down all around and then just trim it top and bottom. So trim the bottom off first. Oh, it's a lovely day here today. I mean, again, I've talked before, I'm trying to do these videos kind of really ahead of time so that I've got like plenty to upload always, but yeah, so the sun might not be shining when I'm actually uploading this is what I'm saying, but it's absolutely lovely today whilst I'm filming, so hopefully be able to sit out in the garden a bit later on. So there we go. checking that I haven't cut my envelope anywhere. No, it looks good so far. So we're going to have it like that. That on there. And then I'm going to attempt to do one of those bows things that we've done a few times. Oh, I quite like it like that. What do you guys think? I was going to have it running down, but yeah, I really, really love it going across like that. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Now, I'm wondering if I wrap it round, that on the other side I'll be able to kind of glue it under the paper. Might do it like that. Because obviously when I did these bows the first time, lots of people said about the, you know, doing it with the lighter. And, you know, thank you so much for all those lovely helpful comments. And I am aware that obviously I can do that. The only thing is, if this gets glued in or, you know, stuck into the signature, I don't want a gap here. And I don't want a kind of hardened edge butting up, you know, if you see what I mean, because I just feel like that's going to fray eventually. So for me, I'd rather kind of have it round where it's tucked actually completely out of the way, and then I don't have to worry too much. So I'm going to glue this down first of all. I really love it on that pink lace. It to me looks really striking. I hope you guys think it does as well, and that it's not just kind of me being completely mad. But yeah, I love kind of just striking kind of combinations like that. So I'm just gluing this down with the hot glue. Again, just for speed, because then I don't have to worry at all about kind of waiting for it to dry and things while I'm doing a video. So just press it down, try and kind of spread that glue out, because I don't want it kind of really lumpy. And obviously hot glue can be a bit lumpy. So there we go. Like that. And then the pink ribbon, what I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to leave quite a longish bit to go behind, because if it's too short, I don't want it to have a vulnerable spot where it's likely to ping up. I want it properly tucked in so that I don't have to worry, because, you know, I don't want things kind of where they're then, you know, not really stuck down properly. So I think what I'll do is kind of make the bow part now. So I'm just going to take the hot glue, pop a little bit along there, and we just kind of, oh gosh, come on. Do you just have those days where you just can't quite operate in a kind of proper way? Proper? I don't know. Anyway, the way that you should. I don't know. So I'm going to have this one going here. Oh gosh. Come on. Like that. So, oh my goodness, what is going on with me today? Right, let's glue this bit down first. Do it this way round. Because maybe then that would be easier to handle. Okay. I think I mentioned before that I've listened to a couple of podcasts lately, and I hadn't really kind of ever listened to them before. I think I have mentioned this before, you know, a few videos ago. So, you know, I'm kind of new to the podcast thing, so, you know, I'm not really great at knowing kind of what's on there. But I've listened to the Desert Island Discs quite a bit, and was listening to one the other day. I don't very often get to listen to them anyway, because the only time really that I would be likely to listen to a podcast is kind of when I'm in the car. And I'm very fortunate in that I can walk to work, you know, and things. So, I mean, I actually don't very often need to use my car, which, you know, is awesome. But therefore, I don't very often have kind of a time when I would actually be listening to a podcast. Oh, I'm going to glue it down and then decide, because I can't decide while I'm still chatting. Yeah, so anyway, I was listening to one the other day in the car with the celebrity chef called Tom Kerridge. Now he's over here in the UK. I don't know whether he would be known elsewhere. Possibly not. I'm not really too sure. But kind of anyone who's viewing from the UK. Oh, he's such a lovely man. Or he certainly seemed it in his podcast. He was, you know, in his Desert Island Discs interview, he just came across as the nicest man. Absolutely lovely. Just really, really nice man. So, yeah, that was a nice one to listen to. My son was in the car as well listening, because my son, my 12-year-old, he loves cooking. So Tom Kerridge obviously is a celebrity chef. So although my son kind of doesn't really want to be listening to my podcasts, you know, he kind of did agree to listen to that one because he thought it might be kind of interesting. So, and yeah, he really enjoyed it too. So it was a nice one to listen to. So I don't know whether, yeah, I don't know whether those podcasts, whether we would get the same ones kind of in different countries. I don't know. I'm, you know, as I say, very new to the whole podcast thing. So, right, I'm just going to cut this down here. Yeah, I don't know whether, you know, I don't know whether we get the same ones as kind of elsewhere. And I don't know whether that, you know, the podcast app thing, I don't know whether that's like a generic. I assume it's kind of probably, you know, tailored to where you are. Because, yeah, I think ours are things like, you know, BBC Radio and things like that seem to show on ours, which I'm guessing obviously is just a kind of UK thing. I don't know. But, yeah, anyway, if you're in the UK, then on the podcast app, if you go to the Desert Island Discs, Tom Kerridge, lovely, lovely man, and, you know, really nice one to listen to. Right, let me stand up and see how this looks through the camera, because we've talked about this before, how it kind of looks completely different looking down from above to how it looks sometimes kind of when you're right beside it. So I'm going to go for the black because I do love that. It's my favourite. Just going to trim down those edge bits that you can kind of still see like the thread, you know, where it attaches. So I just trim those down. Okay. Right. Okay. So, I mean, that to me looks really gorgeous just as it is. I don't think that really particularly needs anything else. What do you guys think? You know, for me, I just think that looks really pretty. Yeah, I think I'd be spoiling it to add anything else on there. So I'm going to kind of leave that. Then obviously you open up and you've got this as your kind of inside. So we could have a bit of kind of white lace maybe. Could have a little bit of pink kind of just folded over the down there or something. Or maybe on this side. It's kind of quite nice. Do you see what I mean? I'm not sure that that's the right lace either. I wish I had some more white lace. Gonna have to kind of really seriously sort through my stash of lace, I think, to try and find some other white lace, because you know, I can't find any that for me is just quite right. So it's annoying. I think because well, I mean, to be honest, I buy any lace that I can kind of get hold of, really. But, you know, kind of often I obviously go towards, drawn to the coloured lace. I just love the colours. But also the ivory. So I don't necessarily kind of veer towards the white. But actually, you know, you quite often need the white, don't you? So, and strangely enough, I preferred that, I think, with the curve inwards. Like that. I don't know why. But for me, that kind of looks more aesthetically pleasing. So, right. So I'm going to just go for that, because otherwise I'll just be here all day. And I'm just going to hot glue this on, because then it's nice and quick. It's done. I don't have to worry kind of anymore. So I'll just put that down like that, press it down a couple of times. Okay, trim it off like that. Just trim it from the back edge kind of thing, so that I'm taking the edges as close as I can to the edge of the pocket, and then I'm just going to trim it down here at the top, maybe at the bottom as well. Quite often I like to leave them overhanging, but for some reason that wasn't working for me on this piece. I liked it flush, so that looks pretty, doesn't it? You could have just a bit of bling there or something. Maybe a flower. Let's do that, because I'm just keen not to kind of really overthink this, because my last video was, or you know, again obviously because I'm filming these ahead of time, I don't know whether it's necessarily going to be in my last video, but my last video playing with this kit at least was pretty awful and shambolic. I just was having a really kind of down day. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes just kind of get really, I don't know, I start overthinking things, and, you know, I don't know, if you've not had very many views or something like that, or, you know, and you kind of think, oh, I'm not sure that I'm kind of doing anything anyone's actually wanting to see, and, you know, things like that. So I was having one of those kind of moments, and, yeah, just feeling a bit down in the dumps really, but hopefully I'm feeling kind of a little bit kind of better today, and a bit more kind of cheerful, and trying to make a bit more effort to not overthink the videos so much. So hopefully, you know, it's going to be a bit more kind of upbeat for people watching. So that's my little piece so far, and obviously we're going to do this side now. So if I just pull the papers and things back in that we've been using, obviously I've got that section that we'd kind of cut off, so I could use that, or I could go for something different completely, or we could kind of build up a collage or something on the back. So let's just have a look. I have got this stationery piece, which strangely enough, it just happens to just fit perfectly. So what I might do is go for the stationery piece, and then what we could do is kind of make a pocket as well. So let's do that. And then actually I've got a kind of library card there that we could then pop in to the pocket. So, you know, that way it's all going to really kind of match really nicely. So if I just pop this down, my glue is kind of got strands everywhere again. Oh gosh, just getting in such a mess. Strands of glue everywhere. Maybe this is why I'm kind of feeling a bit funny and doubtful about my videos. I'm not sure, but anyway. But actually, while I'm on that subject, I just want to say thank you so much to those people who kind of comment, you know, and take the time to comment. And, you know, of course, I understand, you know, people not commenting, because I'm the world's worst for not commenting, because, you know, you're often kind of busy doing other things whilst you're watching. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I often don't even have a, you know, I'm not at a place where I can even use my hands. I might be kind of exercising or cooking, chopping vegetables, you know, kind of like, so I'm actually kind of covered in veg or something, you know. So I totally get that, and I'm of course not expecting people to constantly be commenting. You know, of course that's not what I'm meaning. But I just want to say thank you to those people who have left lovely comments, because, you know, they're so appreciated, because obviously, you know, it is kind of quite nerve-wracking doing videos, and I'm sure that everybody, you know, who kind of does videos, you know, even the people who've been doing them for a really quite a long time, they probably still feel funny at times, because, you know, I mean, you're kind of putting yourself out there, aren't you? And, you know, of course, you're hoping that people are going to enjoy what you put up. So, yeah, but so I just, yeah, I want to really thank those people who comment, but please don't think that I'm suggesting that I don't appreciate those people who watch but don't comment, because of course I do still appreciate you, and I totally get why you don't comment, you know. But yeah, it's very nice when people leave nice comments, because it kind of makes it all worthwhile. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just wondering whether I want to kind of double this up so it's a bit thicker, or whether to just kind of go for this. I mean, obviously we're only going to kind of have this in here, and this is printed on that 160 GSM cardstock. So, you know, kind of technically this should really be robust enough. I mean, I'm just slightly kind of, I guess, untrusting of the thickness, but you know, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? These journals, they are effectively made of paper, so you know, it's a kind of handle with care situation. So we'll go for that, like that. So I'm just going to trim this down here just a bit, just so that I've got less overhang, really. Just helps a bit when I'm gluing it into place. So I'm going to pop that on there. Actually, I'm going to have that lower, so I'm going to trim across the top, I think, rather than lose the flowers. Only because otherwise I can't see these gorgeous flowers at all, which obviously I did want to. So let me trim that further down, like that. That's better, because then I can see those flowers, which obviously, you know, I wanted to kind of see them. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue down here. Again, I just add a bit of glue along the bottom. And then I just go kind of roughly where I think, and then obviously we'll kind of add more or wipe off accordingly. So we'll just pop that there like that. Yeah, I mean, we've got such a lovely crafting community on here, haven't we? And I have met such lovely people, and you know, I've got such inspiration from watching such gorgeous videos. So, you know, it's really kind of humbling when people write nice things, you know, to you, because obviously it's really nice to kind of be accepted as part of that community, and you know, hopefully kind of bring inspiration to people as people will do to me. So it's, yeah, it's really nice to kind of be part of something that seems so special and so kind of full of warmth, really. You know, it seems that people are on here genuinely kind of being nice and kind of trying to share and have a nice time. Nobody's kind of obviously trying to be horrible, which, you know, sadly in life quite often seems to be the case, doesn't it? You know, unfortunately, life doesn't always seem like it's full of people trying to be nice. You know, sometimes it feels like it's quite the opposite. So I've got that kind of that we're going to pop in there. Now I just want to decide, do I have some lace trim across there? Do I have some down there? Or, you know, I have got some fabric ruffle, I think, somewhere. Some white fabric ruffle. It's quite large, it's quite wide, but I guess I could trim it down. That might be quite nice. What do you think? Or maybe it's a bit too much. That might be a bit too much, even trimmed down. So let me just check this one. So as you can see, this was actually this wide kind of piece of lace, and how I've tended to be using it is cut it down so it's not quite so monstrous. So I'm just going to kind of cut some more like that, because then it's actually quite a nice kind of size. So just cut a bit more. Hopefully that's straight-ish. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. I always say this because, you know, we are just making junk journals. We're not making, you know, we're not kind of heading for perfection as such, are we? We're heading for things that look pretty and pleasing to the eye, aren't we? So now, do we like it there to the side, or across the middle. Might have to actually stand up and have a look again. Again, I've got some pretty flowers here, so I'll just trim those off. Oops. And then hopefully be able to make a decision standing up, having a look. So if I were to have that there, let's have a look. That's it there. And then that's it down the side. No, I like it across the middle. Right, okay. So that's a decision made with that. So I'm just going to glue that down, going across the middle. And again, I'm just going to hot glue that down because that's nice and quick. I don't have to then wait for it to dry. You know, you guys don't have to be kind of watching, feeling bored. So there we go. And then I'm just going to trim it down here to this side. And then I'm just going to kind of glue these bits down because I don't like the lace kind of moving. Well, it's not moving, but you know, I don't like it kind of when it's not fixed. So I mean, that's just a personal thing. That's just me. So that's that. And then we'll just see whether we want some bling here. So I've got the rest of that obviously that we used for that bow that we just made. Just trim that off. Oh gosh, come on. Okay. Oh my god, what is going on? Right, okay. Oh my gosh, so many threads, they're just stuck permanently on my fingers. So right, I mean, I think that looks quite pretty. I might cut this down so as we've just got a 3 rather than a 5. Maybe there, maybe kind of over here. No. Right, so I'm going to stick the flower down first, I think. And that way, again, I'm committed then. I've kind of, you know, made a decision, stuck with it. No more mucking about. Kind of like that. So just glue that on. Like that. Come on. Okay. So that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then obviously you could put some lace or something as a little bit across here. I think I might do that, because that just kind of ties it in. Let me just see what it would look like with this one. Do we want that one, or do we want this one that we've used here? That's that one, and that's that one. Probably doesn't really make a lot of difference. Let's just go for this one because it's nice to have something different, I guess, on here. So again, what I'm going to do is kind of glue this down with the hot glue. So I'm going to try and get it as thin as possible, like that. Pop it across there. I'm going to just trim it off at the edge, like that. And then for me, I'm just going to kind of pop down some of those kind of flower type bits, you know, where it's a bit more solid. Just because for me, I don't like it if it looks like it's going to flap around. I mean, it wouldn't flap around because obviously, you know, this is a journal. It's not kind of out blowing around in the wind, but it's just something that bugs me. So there we go. Right. Okay. Got there eventually. So that goes in there, obviously, like that. So we got there eventually. So, oops, just need to trim this down here because I can see a little bit of white hanging off. Right, so I love how that looks. Love that page especially. So, yeah, really, really pretty, kind of like strikingly so. So, right, so we're up to 40 minutes. So that's probably kind of all we've got time for today. Hope that you enjoyed the craft along, and hope you kind of took something from that. And I will hopefully see you all again soon. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks then. Bye.